What is going on, players? I'm Black Fierce, and today's overview is, as you guessed it, is going to be over the Margrave. First thing I have to say about this guy, put some respect on his name. It's called the Margrave. It's because he's the only true tank in this game. Because he's not just durable like a tank, but he can hit you like one too. If you find yourself wanting to play a hero that could jump into the fray without having to worry about his team following him, this is your guy. Not only can he tank really hard, but if you underestimate him, you can find him knocking out half your HP bar as well. The only thing you can achieve by cutting a Margrave off from his team is making sure that his damage dealers don't steal the 5 kills he's about to get. Going by classic RPG definition, Margrave is the best tank in the game. He has the highest health, beating second highest health in the game by 450 HP, but he also has multiple abilities that can increase his health even further, with his focus upgrade giving him 15% additional health and another focus upgrade giving him 200 flat HP during his ultimate. On top of all that, what makes him extremely more tanky is the fact that he has access to damage reduction and armor. And even though armor has a cap of 50, damage reduction does not count towards that cap. He has damage, he has 1v1 potential, he has the best health and armor in the game with bonuses for health and armor and damage resistance. But with all that said, let's go ahead and start the overview and see what Margrave have. So let's start off with his basic abilities. His auto attack is Demon Fist. It's a basic 4-hit combo with the last hit doing more damage than the rest. His next ability is Hellburst. He creates a shield in front of him that can deflect all projectiles and do damage to anybody that's in physical range. His ultimate is Ground Pound. He knocks up everybody around him, doing good damage, knocking them up, stunning them, and giving himself armor. This can easily be a team changer if you're in the middle of any team fight, especially if you have some people with you that can follow up. His Q ability is Charge Forth. He runs forward, pushing everybody he runs into back and dealing damage to them. His E is Staggering Leap. Pretty much he jumps in the air and wherever he lands, he stuns everybody for a fraction of a second and deals good damage. So starting with his auto attack's left upgrade tree, you'll start off with Doom Strike. This makes his final hit do tremendously more damage. This is where most of his damage can end up coming from in most games. It increases the damage up to 365, which almost makes it do more damage. No, in fact, it does do more damage than the rest of your auto attacks combined, considering you do 100 damage a hit, and this takes it up to your final hit to do 365, not just a normal hit, but an area of effect hit. For your left second tier upgrades, you'll be offered Critical Blow or Demon Reach. Critical Blow will give your final hit a 35% chance of critting on hit. Demon Fist. This will not only give you 50 additional damage on your final hit if you can hit at least 2 targets, but it will also give you 2 meters of extra radius. So going to the right upgrade path, the first option you'll be given will be Counter. This makes it to where you pretty much get a new ability for free. So now if you step back and auto attack at the same time, you will perform your counter. Your counter makes it to where you interrupt whatever your opponent is doing, and if you interrupt them, you also weaken them. Oh, and if that wasn't good enough, you also get 90 front armor while you do this, pretty much making it to where you take no damage. Okay, so for your right skill upgrades, you'll be offered Debilitating Blows and Resounding Counter. So Resounding Counter offers you, whenever you interrupt and weaken somebody, you also do an area of effect for up to 3.5 meters. Meaning if you get one, you get them all, which could be great when you're fighting multiple melee fighters. Debilitating Blows makes it to where whenever you counter them and you weaken them, every time you auto attack them, it will refresh to weaken. Okay, so for Hellburst, going for your left upgrades, your first one that will be offered to you will be Eternal Flame. This will increase Hell's Burst duration from 3 seconds to 6 seconds, but do note it also increases your cooldown time. For your left second tier upgrades for Hellburst, you'd be offered Give 'em Hell and Impenetrable Flame. Give 'em Hell now reflects all enemy projectiles, and you gain additional 3 focus. Now the key difference to remember here is that Deflect simply deflects the projectiles and they'll be sent flying in a random direction. But Reflect will send it right back at the user that hits you with it. So if you could turn back ultimates where somebody would be stationary and firing at you, that is a game changer. For Impenetrable Flame, you gain 25% damage reduction. A fun note to remember about this one is that it says 25% damage reduction, but it does not specify it's only in the front, meaning you can get this on the sides and back as well. Now for your right upgrade path, you're first offered Burst of Damage. Burst of Damage replaces a shield and you simply have a fire hand that's sticking out instead. This would do more than 4 times as much damage. The first one with the shield gave you 10 damage a tick, this one would now give you 52. The cooldown will remain the same. The second tier upgrades will be Mayhem and Nowhere to Run. Mayhem will give you 15% crit chance for each hit on Hellburst for up to 3 seconds. This crit chance will only apply to your Demon Fist auto attacks and Hellburst itself. Nowhere to Run will make it to where if you hit their backs with Hellburst, it will now slow them by 20% for 6 seconds. First left upgrade for Charge Forth will be Increased Rush Duration. Increased Rush Duration will take you from traveling 13.5 meters to 17.5 meters. Or if you want it in time, it will take you from running for 1.5 seconds to almost 2 seconds. The second tier upgrades for this would be Pure Aggression and Irresistible Charge. Pure Aggression, despite what it sounds like, would not increase the damage or anything. It would simply give you a purification every time you charge forth, and this will also apply to any allies you pass by as well, removing all debuffs. Irresistible Charge will now give you immunity to crowd control and 50% damage reduction in the front while charging only. For Charge Forth right upgrade path, you'll first start off with Rush In Attack. Rush In Attack will make it to where at the end of your charge, you can trigger it again to interrupt and hit anybody in front of you. For your second tier upgrades for this ability, your options will be Launch Attack and Flaming Fist. Launch Attack, instead of just interrupting them at the end of your charge, you can now launch them as well, stunning them and making them fly up and fall down to the ground. Flaming Fist now do a small cone at the end of your charge, damaging everybody for 65 damage for 3 seconds. For your first upgrade to the left, you'll be offered Blunt Trauma. This increased the stun duration to Staggering Leap, so it would now stun for a total of 1 second. The second tier upgrades you'll be offered will be Shake, Rattle, and Roll and Bone Crusher. Shake, Rattle, and Roll will now slow enemies you hit by 3 seconds. Bone Crusher will now stun everybody you hit with Staggering Leap to a total of 1.5 seconds, with a count of you doing 50% less damage for 3 seconds. The first upgrade going to the right will start off with Smackdown. This will increase your leap range by 5 meters and also increase the damage by an additional 200. Leap Before You Look will reduce the cooldown by 8 seconds, making it 12 seconds total. Battle Cry will make it to where when you land, you gain 40 additional armor. Now for your focus upgrade, starting with the left, your first offer will be Iron Skin. This will give you 200 health for 5 seconds whenever you use your ultimate. And it will also give you a passive 5 armor that will be active all throughout the game. For the second tier upgrades, you'll be offered Pound of Armor and Concentration. Pound of Armor makes it to where every person you hit with your ultimate gives you 10 additional armor and is stacked up to 5 times. Concentration gives you a passive ability to gain 20% more focus for the rest of the game. For your focus right upgrade path, you'll start off with Hero's Fatality. This will give you a passive to increase your max health by 15%. Your second tier upgrades for this path would be Lifeline and Stonewall. Lifeline will give you 20% more healing and 20% faster health regeneration outside of combat. Stonewall will give you a passive ability where you're permanently immune to crits. For your talents, you have Quick to Anger. Quick to Anger will make Hell Burst cooldown start at 4 seconds and give you 15% additional speed whenever you're using the ability. The Supercharger will now make it to where your charge 4th ability cooldown is reduced by 4 seconds. Also, during Clash, you will now have 25% front damage reduction for 3 seconds after using Supercharger. Your third talent will be Impact Crater. This will give your leap an additional 1.25 meter area radius. And during Clash, if you landed on multiple targets, you also gain 30% more focus. Alright, and that's all of Margrave's abilities and upgrade options. After checking all of these out, it's pretty clear that Margrave has great variety and options for building. He could be anywhere between your classic tank that can never die to being a 1v1 tank that can tank for the team and also specialize in handling one-on-one situations. Or you can run a team tank build where you deal massive amounts of damage to an enemy team while also tanking for yours. But to simplify it all down to 2 simple playstyles, staying on tank, which is your role. The main 2 playstyles it seems to be offering is running a tank build to where you're undying and you can handle multiple people at the same time, or running a tank build where you can also run the ones with people as well. The main abilities that would be deciding your playstyle when you start with him will be your Demon Fist upgrades. If you want to be a great asset to your team while you're tanking and also be giving complementary damage, it seems like Doomstrike is the way to go, where it makes it to where you're like the amount of damage you're doing total to the team will just be skyrocket from this one ability alone. If you want to be able to run the ones with people and empty anybody pockets that they try catching you out, or if there's just one person on the team you really hate and you want to be able to kill on your own, then Counter seems the way to go as well. Doomfist would be a great option if you want to be a good tank with good amount of damage in team fights, or if you just feel in general that your team is lacking in damage. Counter is a great option if you're tanking and you feel like your team is good on damage, but you just want more 1v1 potential in case you get caught out. Let's say it's a game to where you guys have to be spread out because the enemy's trying to attack multiple points at the same time, so your damage dealers would be less likely to be with you. Or if there's an enemy on the enemy team that is their key player, this can help make sure they stay shut down and any key ability that they could be using stays interrupted. Or it could be used in a situation to where the enemy's constantly attacking on multiple fronts and you guys need to split up, and it will be less likely that you'll have allies with you, so that way you could be stronger on your own as well. Alright, so that's Margrave overview. The main playstyles he seemed to be offering is a good damage AoE damage tank that can frontline for days and deal damage for days, and a good frontline tank that could tank for days and run the ones with you any day. If you like this overview and want to see more of it, or if you just like hearing my takes on these heroes, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next overview. Thanks for watching.